Hello everyone, welcome to Pandas tutorial. So we are in the first section of Pandas tutorial where we're going to see some basic concepts about the introduction about Pandas, and then it's one of the data structure called series. The next section we are going to practice and discuss about data frame, which is another important data structure of Pandas. And in the third section of Pandas tutorial, you're going to practice some of the basic functionalities which we will often use for data analytics. So first, let's see what is Pandas. Pandas is popular because of its data structure, easy to use and highly efficient data structures. That is, as I told you, it is series and data frame, these two data structures. So because of its ease of use and the efficiency, Pandas is so popular, and it has a lot of methods available, built-in methods available that makes a lot of processes like data cleaning, pre-processing, all those things will be easy. Most of the processing of the data to apply the algorithms. So before you apply any an algorithm like machine learning and deep learning, first you have to clean the data or pre-process the data. So mostly we will go for Pandas library to do this cleaning process. Okay, so those methods makes it easy and faster to pre-process the data. So Pandas is built on the top of NumPy. Okay, so most of the since you have learned NumPy in the previous section, so you know the computational abilities of NumPy. So all those computational abilities will be inherited. The Pandas computational abilities will be inherited from NumPy, since it is built on the top of NumPy. And you have to have NumPy installed in your system before you install Pandas. So since all of you have already installed NumPy in the previous section, so we are good to go. So it has a lot of methods. It is popular because of the built-in methods it has in its package. So it has a lot of methods available for analyzing the data, like cleaning the data. Before analyzing, cleaning the data, exploring the data, manipulating it, analyzing it, and manipulating in a way that it can be used for further processing. So all those things are going to be easier because of the built-in methods available in Pandas. Okay, so mostly it is useful for clean up the messy data set, okay, and make it to convert it into a readable format. Okay, so Pandas mostly will prefer to work in the tabular format. That means in terms of rows and columns. Okay, either if it is one dimensional data, it can be known as series. Okay, one dimensional data is known as series, and two dimensional data, which is known as data frame, which has database related structure like rows and column. Okay, so it has the powerful, versatile data analysis tool to work on these two data structures, series and data frame. And also it has some methods available, some basic methods available, which you can use even for data visualization. Okay, even for creating the plots and exploring the data, we can use the basic kind of visualization can be done with Pandas. Okay, so as we have seen, Pandas has two different data types, 1D and 2D. 1D data type, 1D array is known as series. 2D array is known as data frame. So next we will see. So this is all about what is Pandas. Now next we'll see where and why to use Pandas. So Pandas makes the experience of data analysis like easy, like with less coding, you can perform better pre-processing. Okay. So whenever we need to use Pandas, when we need to deal with a data set that contain missing value, and you need to refill the value with some standard value. So whenever your data set is incomplete with missing value, then you can go for utilizing Pandas functionality. And we have to combine, when we have to combine information across several data sets, like database combining, like you join, if you're familiar with database, how you can combine multiple table together. Those kind of operations will be easier in Pandas when you have to combine different data sets for analysis. And when we need to import and export data in different file format like CSV, JSON, we are going to discuss this in detail in chapter 6, how to work with different file formats. So Pandas has very efficient methods to work with different kind of file formats. Okay, so that we will learn at the end of this and during chapter 6. And then Pandas is also helpful. You can rely on Panda to deal with the numerical calculation in efficient manner, like applying the linear algebra or any kind of high-end calculation. If you want to do it on the data frame, then we can rely on Pandas. And when the data set has multiple type of information like numbers, strings, different type of information that we have to deal with different features with different data type, then we can go for Pandas. Okay, so have it in your mind when we can go for the help of Pandas. When we need to work on when the data is not completely pre-processed, when it is not ready to apply any algorithm, then we have to pre-process it. Okay, for pre-processing, Pandas will be helpful. So this is about where we can get, where we have to go for Pandas library. Okay, so when and what instances we have to use Pandas library to pre-process the data. Next, we are going to discuss about Pandas series. Okay, so as I told you before, Pandas series is nothing but one-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array is data frame. So now we'll see how we can import Pandas and work on one-dimensional array. So you can create a separate lab, chapter 5 lab. For section 1, I'm going to explain these concepts in different 3 different sections. Okay, so section 1, we are going to practice series related practices. Okay, so you can create a separate Jupyter notebook file for section 1. Pandas series is powerful version of Python list. So we have worked on Python list in the first two exercise. You have brushed up your skill in list, all those stuff, and also in NumPy we have worked on NumPy array. Okay, so now you should have a good idea on like how you can apply what you learned in list and NumPy array when you practice the series concept, because it is similar concept. It is also dealing with array, one-dimensional array. So the one thing that you have to note down is when you work on the series, you have to work on the data consistency. When you work on data frame, each column have to have the same data type, but when it is series, each series variable should have a same data type. First, let's import Pandas. Okay, this normally like how NumPy will be installed as NP like that. Pandas, it is a normal convention. We'll install it as PD so that each time we don't need to say pandas.pandas. Instead, we can give a nickname and say PD dot. So we have imported Pandas here. Now let's create a list. Okay, so how can we create a list? So I'm going to create a list with the product variable name products with 4 data. Okay. So the variable name is products, which has a list of data. You can see that. So you can check the type, what is the type of this. Okay, tab products. You can see it is list. So now let's see how to convert this list into series. Okay, so we are going to create product, which is going to be the category. Okay, and how to convert this list into series. PD dot, already we have imported Pandas as PD, and that uppercase yes. Okay, it's not lowercase yes, uppercase yes. Tab uppercase yes. Then you can see the functions, the method that I'm going to utilize from this object dot PD dot series. The method name is series. So which I want to convert? I want to convert the list. Okay, so just give that list here. You can just give products tab and then select the product. Now we can just print. You can see automatically the series will have the index. So what are the stuff that we are getting when we convert a normal? Right now it is simply when you type to print the product, it's simply a list. But when you convert it into series, you can see what are the stuff that got added. First thing, it got the index got added. The index starts with 0, that is included. And the data type, okay, here it is just an object, right? So data type is added. Okay, now let's see what is the type of this. Okay, so when I say product category, then you can see the type is print the type of this. You can see it is saying Pandas series, uppercase A series. Okay, so this is that belongs to series data type. So this is how you can convert the list into series. Okay. So next we'll see one more examples like this. Okay, so I'm going to create a variable called daily rates dollars. It's a variable name. And then I'm going to create a series, pd dot uppercase series. Okay, I'm going to pass the values 40, 45, 50, 55. Okay. Now, let's print it. You can see we have created a series. Okay, so this is about how we can convert the list into series. Now let's look on NumPy, how to create some 1D array in NumPy and convert it into series. Okay, so I'm going to import NumPy as np, and then I'm going to create an array np dot tab, again type numpy dot array. Okay, so that will let's create some variables 20, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, so we have created an array here with the numpy array. So let's type the variable array, and also let's print the type. You can see it has been created as an 1D array. If you look at the type of that, it is ND array. So we have seen what is ND array in the last chapter. Now we are going to convert this ND array into series. Okay, so let's create a variable. Okay, and then object pd dot uppercase. Remember, uppercase. And then what we have to pass? We have to pass this array A. Okay, let's pass this array A. And then let's try to print it this. Okay, you can see now we have converted that NumPy into series. Okay, so in this subsections, we have seen how to create a series, from list, and then NumPy array. Next, we are going to see how to work with attributes. Okay, working with attributes. So as you know, attributes is nothing but like the method, what are the extended functionality of the method. Okay, so what are the attributes that comes with the series? As you know before, in any object-oriented programming, object represent collection of attributes and method, right? Attribute is nothing but a variable. Method is nothing but the functionality. Okay, first we'll see the attributes, then we'll see the functionality of this object. So attribute again, attribute is nothing but a variable, but the variable associated with an object. Here the object is pandas. Okay, so what are the attributes? The variable that is associated with an object. So far we have the series A, which has this one, right? So let's take this series and see what are the attributes that we can use to analyze this series. Okay, let's take the series A, which we have created, and see the associated attributes. Okay, so series A dot tab. When you type tab, then you can see all the associated attributes. We'll see some important one. You can see there are hundreds of attributes you can see that comes with the pandas method, pandas object. Now we are going to analyze this D type. What does this D type attribute will do? So actually it will give you the data that has been created. You can see it is integer. The data is integer of type 32. Okay, integer of type 32. Okay, now let's see some other functionalities. Series A dot tab size. How many data are there? 5 data are there. Okay. Now we have the product categories. No, it's not product categories. Let's create a new data type saying product categories. Okay, and let's try the product categories. Product. Okay. We have created one, and let's see some of the values. Okay, so product categories is the object, and then we're going to see values. Okay, what are the values of that? You can see A, B, C, D, all the values. If you want to see the index, okay, so index attribute dot tab in, you can see index. So it will tell you the indexing start from 0, 1, 2, 3. So start by 4 means it will proceed by before, it will stop before 4, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so those are the indexes. Now let's look at the data type of this product categories. Dot tab D type. You can see it says it is O. Here, when I try to get the data type of the series A, it says it is integer. But for this ABCD, that is for the character, for the string, when for the non-numeric data, pandas will take it as O, refers the object as O when for the non-numeric data. Since ABCD is non-numeric data, it says the data type is O. Okay, and let's say the size again. Let's type the size again. Size. You can see ABCD4. Okay. So how this sizes has been handled? Obviously, it is an integer, right? It says it is integer. It is series, but the size one is integer. It is handled as an integer. Okay. Okay. So next we are going to see how we can change the name. Here it says the data type is O object, but even we can specify the name here. When you display the information about the series, you can add some more information by adding the attribute. Okay. So product categories has the attribute called a name. You can see name. You can select this attribute and you can assign it as a name. A new name can be assigned. Categories. You can see previously it just say the data type, but it says the name as well. When it displays the information about the series, it displays the name as well. Okay, so you can assign the name. Also, you can get the name. You simply say it will just get the name. Even you can assign or you can get the name of that data series. Okay. Okay, so those are the basic attributes that you can utilize. But as we have seen, there are hundreds of attributes that are associated with the pandas object. We have just seen some basic attributes that you may use often. Next, we are going to see some of the index-based operations. Okay, so index-based operations. So what are the operations that we can perform based on the index? Okay, so let's create a new object so that we can try a lot of index-based operations. Let's see how the series has been created. You can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the data type is integer 64. Okay, we can assign a new index. This is the numerical indexing, default numerical indexing. But we can assign the value. We know the index attribute will retrieve the index values. By using the equal assignment operator, you can assign new indexes. So instead of 0, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to assign some string indexes here. Okay, so when I just type the object, then if it's, you can see the string values will replace the 0, 1, 2, 3 indexes. Okay, so this is for new indexes, assigning new indexes. Okay, let's do one more like this. Let's create another object. So instead of using the index and assignment operator, you can even assign index when you create the series. Okay, by using this index attribute as I assign this value, you can create the series with customized index. You can see the same order what you have given inside the method, inside the parameter, you can get the same order. You can have to retrieve the value. Okay, so it's simply like a normal list. You can simply pass the index values. Here, if I say A, then you can see A has the value -5. Okay, you can do multiple retrieval like a list. C, A, D. Okay, so you can see it will just retrieve the values whatever you have given. Okay, so these are some basic indexes which is their basic now Python operation. These are some things that you can do with Python as well. Okay, so let's do some of the NumPy like operations. These are some Python like operations. Let's do some NumPy operations in Pandas. You can see that you can use the Boolean operations, conditional operations to get the Boolean value, right? So those same kind of stuff you can do in Pandas as well. We have created object 2 here, right? So object 2, we are going to apply a condition. Whatever is greater than 0, retrieve the values. 4, 7, 3. These are the values that is greater than 0. So you can simply apply some of these kind of operations directly on the object. Now you can see 4 into 2. I'm just taking that object and multiply every element with 2, and you can see 8, 14, -10, and 6. Okay. And then let's do some Boolean kind of operation. See whether B is there in the object 2. So you can see the index B is there in the object, so it would say it is true. Let's say it is not there in the object. So you can see E is not there in the object, then it would say it is false. So those are some NumPy-like operations based on the index. Okay. Next, let's see how to create series from dictionary. We have seen how to create series from list, from NumPy array. Now let's see how to create it from the dictionary. How to create series with the dictionary. Okay, let's create a dictionary variable called product per category, and let's create a dictionary for price and the products like this. Okay, and then let's try to print this data as well as the type of this data. Okay, Okay. So you can see we have created a dictionary and the data type is dictionary. Now let's see how to convert. So by this time you should have judged this, how to do this. It's very simple, like how we did it with the list and numpy, the same thing, pd dot uppercase series and pass this product category, product per category into that. Now try to print it and print the type of it. I'll just copy and paste to get the category. So you can see now the previously it was with the dictionary data type format. Now you can see the series format with the index and the value. Key will be assigned as an index and the values will be assigned as a normal value in the series format. And as usual, it will give the data type. And if you try to print the type of the data structure, it says it is series. Okay. And we can apply all the operations that we have done in the previous, like you can just find the index, values. Okay, you can just play with those things that you learned in the previous cells, like let's say index, and you can see product A, B, C, D that will be retrieved as an object. Okay, and then so let's see what is the type of this. Okay, let's see what is the type of the index. So previously, you can see when we type the index, it says it is integer, but you can see here it says the type of this price category index is the index value. Okay, so let's create one more dictionary. So second example, let's create one more. Okay, so in this dictionary, the variable name is data, state data, and the states and the values. We have created this, and we are going to convert this into series. We know how to do it, pd.series, and pass the value. You can see this is the series that we have created from this dictionary. Okay, so let's see, we have assigned new indexes here. We have assigned new indexes. And now we are going to do the same thing, but instead of assigning the index values inside the method, we are going to create a variable for index like this. Okay, we are creating a variable for that, and you can see now we are going to create a series, new series, pd dot series, and this series we are going to take the dictionary value as data and index value. For the index, instead of assigning the customizing the index here, we are going to call the variable. Okay, so this list variable, we are going to pass it like a list variable and see how it takes. Correct, right? So here the indexes are the states and the values are here. So here the California is not there here in the original S data. So for that, it automatically assigns not a number. Okay, so those things, these kind of facilities are not there in Python or NumPy. Okay, so Pandas can do it effortlessly. You don't need to worry about the unassigned values. Automatically, it will assign not a number values. Okay, so let's try to perform some Boolean kind of operations. Okay, char is null. And let's pass this object code that we have created here. So you can see where is null. So this not a number is a null. So wherever that is a not a number, wherever there is null, then it will say true. Okay. Even you can try the opposite. Tab not null is there. Let's try that and see what is the result. Okay, say which is not null. These last three values has some values, so that will become the not null operations. Okay, so those are some operations. We'll do some arithmetic operation as well. We have object 3 and then we have object 4. So let's try to add these two and what happens here. So object 3, 3,500 and object 4 also it is 3,500. So when you add these two, it will say, oh, here is 7,000 and then Texas is 71 plus 71, 104, 42,000 and then Oregon is 16 plus is 32. And then for Utah and California, it says not a number because Utah is not here in object 4 and California is not there in the object 3. So it says it cannot add those two values because there is no match. Uh, you can consider this as an join operation in the database. If you're familiar with the database, it is like a join. When there is no match with the row or column, then there will not be any joining. Okay. So these things are not possible in NumPy directly. You have to use different functionality for that. Okay. So these kind of operations are easier in Pandas. So now let's assign a name to the object 4. Okay, let's say object 4. Let's assign a name to that by using the name attribute. We're assigning some name. So this number, we are saying that these are numbers, but what is this number? This number is a population. Let's assign some value for the index as well, name for the index as well. So index dot name. What is the name? It is state. Okay, now let's try to type object 4. Then you can see the name is population. Okay, and then you will not get the type here, but the type is floating point, but you will not get the index name here. You will just get this value here, not the index name will not be retrieved. But we have assigned the index name here by using this index.name attribute. Okay, next we're going to see some operations based on, if you're familiar with label-based positioning and index-based positioning, the key, the dictionary is the label-based position, popular because of the label-based positioning, because you can retrieve the values of the given data set based on the key values. Okay, you don't need to rely on the indexing. That is for dictionary. For list, you don't have the key value, but you will retrieve the values based on position. Okay, so let's do some of the operations on this. Let's create we have already created series A, right? So let's recall that. What is there in series A? We're going to reuse that. You can see we have the series A with the data type. Okay, now let's see what is the indexing. Okay, for the series A. Series A dot index. It has top 0, and that since it has 4 values, top 5, and regular indexing. Okay, now what are we going to do? We are going to give a new index value. Okay. Okay, let's see the type of this range index. Type. You can see it says range index. It's not a normal number integer. It says range index because like a range function, it says it starts with 0 and stops 5. So if you recall, the Python's range function and NumPy's range function will do the same kind of operation. Okay, it is labeled, it is index based positioning with 0 and that numerical. Okay, based on the position. Okay, let's look at our category product dot category, this one. Okay, and let's look at that. That is the example for position based category. Okay, so let's type prices category, prices per category. Let me fill that variable that we have created. Okay, so when I try to get the index value of this, the type of the index, then you can see it is saying base index. It's not saying range index, it's saying base index. So this is the position based indexing, and this is the label based indexing, and this is the position based indexing. Okay, let's do something on implicit and explicit indexing. Implicit and explicit indexing. I will try to pull the variable that I have created before again. Okay. You can look at this. When I try to pull the values from here, I can implicitly specify the variable location. Series. If I want to retrieve the value, this 10, then the normal indexing will work here. This is called implicit indexing because we implicitly know the values. Let's try the product category with the explicit indexing because we have to explicitly say which value we want to see. Okay, explicit, that is called explicit indexing. Okay, so this type is called explicit indexing. Another name for label-based indexing. Okay, you can retrieve the values. Now we are going to change the indexing value for implicit indexing. Okay, so here it is 0, 1, 2, 3. You know, it is 0, 1, 2, 3. How can you change the index values? How can you change the index value? By implicit indexing, it is 0, 1, 2, 3, but externally we are customizing it and we are changing the index value to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's try to print this series. You can see the index value starts from 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you try to apply this 0 indexing, we know that 0 indexing means to start from 0, right? So by default, it should be 0. But since we have changed the index value to 1, it will completely change the data structure and the index value will start from 1. So it will throw some error at you, like for this 0 indexing, because it says there is no 0 index. The index starts from 1. You just change it to start from 1. Okay. So you can implicitly change, you can change the implicit index values. Okay, even you can assign some string values like this. You can see it may seem like an integer indexing, but if you try to type the data type, tab series c dot index, so you can see base index, but the type is string. Okay, so when you try to pull the values, you can see the series 1, 0 index, 1 index. So you can just get the position based. The position is 1, right? 1, you can get it. This is position based, which is implicit. You can apply the explicit as well here. Same thing that you can do the explicit. What is the explicit indexing value for 20? You can see it is string value 2. Right? String value 2. You can see string value 2 will get 20. Okay. So these are some exercise that gives you a little bit more understanding on indexing. Okay. What is label based? What is position based? Label based is nothing but the key value pair. You will have the explicit naming to pick the values. Okay. To retrieve the values, which is called explicit. And the position based is called implicit. So we have seen the attributes and index based method. Next, we are going to see methods. Okay, what are the popular methods are that, and how we can use the methods in series. Okay, working with methods. So we recall what is method. Method is nothing but a function. Okay, the function associated with the object is called method. Okay, so to work with the method, I'm going to create a variable for the date. Okay, you can copy the values from the PDF. Okay, so you don't need to type it. You can just copy it from the PDF when you do the practice. I have just created a variable. And now you can see these are the values. I can apply. So now this, you can see this is the this is a series. Okay, series object. I can simply apply. So this will become an object, right? So it will become an object because it is created from the pandas object. So that will become object. So dot object dot method. When you type dot, you can see this parenthesis, whatever you see with the parenthesis here, all of them are methods. Okay. So some methods, some, you can see it will just sum up all the values here from 2000, 2000, 1000, all this value will get summed here. Okay. Let's do minimum value, min method. You can see I'm just typing tab and type min. You can see min method is there. It comes with the package. You can see the minimum value is 1000. And let me type max. So these are some basic Python function that comes with pandas as well. Max operation, index maximum and index minimum operation, which deals with the index value. Index, not only the value, you can even find the minimum maximum of index. Okay. For index minimum and index maximum, you have to say IDX min. Saying December 20, the minimum value. And then let's say IDX max. Okay, 2015. Okay, so the next one, the mostly used practical method, very popular practical method in pandas is the head function. Okay, the head method. So it's very popular. When you want to export the data, normally you will use head method. So you can see the head method will give you the first 5 sample values. Okay, so if you don't pass anything inside this parameter, inside this method, it will pass first 5 value. But if you want to customize it, you can customize it. Like you can see when you pass 7, it will just retrieve 7 values from the series. Okay. Similarly, there is a method called tail method. When you say simply tail, it will just retrieve the last 5 values. Okay. What are the last 5 values that will get retrieved? And also you can customize this, saying you want the last 3. Okay. So your okay. So the next method, tail method max. I just deleted it. Okay. So those are the tail methods. Okay. So these are some popular methods, but it is like you can see there are hundreds of methods are available that comes with the pandas package. So we have seen some basic methods. Okay. So in this section, the first section of the pandas, let me do a review. What we have seen what is pandas, where to use it, what is the different data structures like series and data frame, how to create series from the list, array, and how to create it from the dictionary, and what are the attributes of series, and what are the popular methods of series, and how to work with index, what are the index based operations. Okay, so these are the stuff that we discussed in section 1. In the section 2, we're going to practice more on data frame. See you in the next video tutorial. Thank you.